Hey guys, it's Matt. Another series of mine will have a emphasis during the video on therapy for truth researchers. This Not Milk does a lot of things during the year that's actually designed to piss off people that can see through the trick of the world. Now, I'm actually working on myself. We all can benefit from this sort of truth researcher therapy. When I saw this article or this headline at CNN.com, just for a second, I got angry. Then I remembered there's nothing real about this. This is a game of some kind. It's designed to get under your skin. If you elicit the emotion at once, it has won. But so we have to, the truth therapy associated with these videos will be, what's that phrase? Turn your, turn your frown upside down. Turn your anger into laughter. Senate passes 95 billion package sending aid to the Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan after months of delay. Those sons of bitches were holding back the money to Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. Give them the damn money, man. We don't need it here. What all this stuff about shutting the government down over a few billion, and then after we're going to shut it down. We ain't got no money. Oh, 100 billion to 3 countries when we got roads like 422 up here. The same pothole's been up there since Methuselah's grandmother lived. I'm not even joking. Now, class, in this therapy session, we'll look at this AIDS package, is all sorts of Freudian slips. We're going to look at the package together, and we're not going to get angry, class. Yes, spitballers, those that don't need the therapy, go clear fields or something. We'll do half a class. Get out. We'll do half a class today. Right? We'll look at just like what's the fear of heights called? Agoraphobia, something like that. One's fear of heights, one's fear of dirty toilet seats at rest stops or something. Just like that, we lead you closer and closer to the edge. You become more comfortable. We'll look at these aid packages slowly, so the anger will drift away and it will become funny. No need to give it the energy that it lives on, class. $60.8 billion to the Ukraine. $26.4 billion to Israel. They don't need no money. These Israelis are as rich as you can possibly. Do you know how many tech companies are like Silicon Valley, Middle East? Silicon Valley East, since Columbus, Ohio, I've learned. Silicon Valley, Middle East, Israel. You know how many global companies? You can't say that, I know, but they don't need no money. There's something. It's probably the largest money laundering scheme in history. That box up there, that box in a putrid yellow, that gets more people angry than any other box. 8.1 to the Indo-Pacific. Why don't you just say Taiwan for the earthquake, right? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? Putting it like Marcellus Wallace. If that son of a bitch goes to Indochina, I want a motherfucker there to pop a cap in his ass, popping out of a bowl of rice. What's Indo-Pacific? I think Marcellus talked about Indo. I didn't know for years watching Pulp Fiction what the hell is Indochina? Why is he putting it like that? But it was cool. Anything that comes out of the mouth of Marcellus Wallace is cool. Even we have the meats. To me, that ain't Vin Rames. It's Marcellus Wallace asking you to come to Arby's and threatening you if you don't go. So, class, we laugh at this. Nobody get angry at this. But Matt, we could have used that money here at home. We need that money here, not to go overseas. We're giving away all our money. You yourself talk about that 422 highway in Kensington, Philadelphia is like a hybrid now of the worst parts of 12 Monkeys and Brad Pitt's World War Z. Zombies walking down the streets with needles sticking out of their arm and sleeping all over the curbs. And we need that money here at home. This is true therapy. Calm down. First off, per their charter, whatever these things are that position themselves as being into control, no real money can actually be used to benefit real spiritual beings. It's part of their creepy little charter. No, if they didn't get the printed fake money, we wouldn't have gotten it here at home. Your community wouldn't have been benefited. Is this your first conspiracy video, sir? They can't use real money to benefit anything. They'll do the absolute basics. If the damn Amtrak R5 piece of shit from the 1950s, the track buckles, well, they'll fix it. Okay, if the road becomes impassable, they'll fix it. If a section of I-95 or the Francis Scott Key collapses, well, they'll fix it. They'll do the absolute minimum so commerce can continue and your life can stay miserable. Don't you know that by now? One of the things they are committed to is continuing the US dollar system, but keeping inflation in check. They can do that by getting the money out of the country as quickly as possible. Now, if you're trying to throw your rotten cabbage at me, just give me a minute, all right? I go into the Target. It's $24 for a gigantic heavy thing of $24 or something for it's the 40-pounder. Cat litter? Yeah, I see it. It hits me too, okay? Put your cabbage down. They've been masterful at controlling inflation. Not they, the AI superbot that does it. At this point, I've said this many times, considering the tens of trillions that they've pumped out off books, not on the Fed balance sheet, maybe a month. Who knows? It's trillions thrown around everywhere. We know that at this point. Half the large companies would have gone out of business during C the V 2020 to 2023. They're all injected and brought back. Okay, let's not turn this into another fake economy video. An apple should be $25 to $30 an apple today, considering the amount of money they flooded the system with. So yes, I see it too. You go to get a roll of paper towels. It's this tiny little roll. Soon it'll be just a few towels. And then I got right to the cardboard. I only took one towel. I hear you. But this AI system is masterful. It should be much, much, much worse than it is. And through this, okay, if they of course they printed this money up in a millisecond. Of course, there's no money anywhere. If they keep it in the United States, well, their charter says they can't benefit real people, but we'll just leave that aside for now. The inflationary effect hits much worse than if they immediately get it out of the country. That's why maybe the amount to Israel's a lot lower, because half of those people will just net jets and sky jets and first class. They just go back and forth between their high-rise condos in New York and Tel Aviv anyway. They do. They all own properties all over the world. So that maybe that amount will just come right back quickly. The amount going to Israel, though, somebody will have a $4,000 dinner tonight. But the amount in the Ukraine is going to stay there. Maybe somebody eventually will use the money to build a brick wall or something, but that's the brick isn't sourced in the United States. It's not an inflationary effect. That's all they care about. In terms of the money slated to go to Taiwan, well, after the earthquake, they got their own problems, right? They're not going to just use it to buy Taylor Swift CD collections and the money flows right back here. They got to rebuild their own place. Now, why, again, it's positioned here as Indo-Pacific, I don't know. Maybe there are some other places the money's going to go. Indochina, I believe, is like a general term for countries like Vietnam and Laos and Malaysia. I don't think it's just Indonesia or anything like that. I know we have somebody here that contributes to the channel named Kent, who's the king of Indochina. He literally is like a white king when he sets foot back there. He knows everything about the lands. I mean, he can clarify, and I'll get back to you. But it's positioned here as Marcellus Wallace position where Butch might go in Pulp Fiction, Indo-Pacific. They got their own problems. That's not going to cause an inflationary hit to the United States. But the Israel one will, but that's the money laundering. They got to do that. The Ukraine won't. So the only reason to be upset at this is if you think they took money that existed in banks somewhere here in the United States and they just sent it abroad. That's not what happened. The AI supercomputer created it in a millisecond and sent it out of the United States in less than 1 second. The only other reason to be upset is if you think part of this money sent overseas came from the taxpayer or mom and pop hardware store that paid their taxes on time and then it just was sent right to the Ukraine or Israel. That's not what happened either. Okay, I'm not defending what the hell this is. I'm just trying to say it's not worth getting upset over for a lot of reasons. You want to back up far enough. The whole reality system is a game that tries to trick real spiritual beings. We're not even at that high level. The highest level, there's nothing to be upset at ever. At the lower level, there's nothing to be upset at. There was no money. They just created it. Be thankful, like I said, for the one guy in the Ukraine that can build a brick wall in his backyard because there's some money that came in. 10 cronies of Zelensky will steal it, of course, and they'll buy gigantic new magenta speedboats and all. For every 10 that steal it, then one might benefit. Be happy for the one guy or girl that might benefit. There was no money here anyway. They created on a supercomputer and smuggled it out of the country in a millisecond to control the inflationary effect. Again, it can't be used to benefit your community. It cannot be used per their creepy charter. They can never help real people improve their lives. Their job is to destroy. They're not going to benefit your town. Well, maybe we can get a new version of 911 as a joke from Flava Flav. Get up, get down. Senator Chuck Schumer's aid package is joking your town. It can't benefit real people locally. So I'm happy for the one little farmer in the Ukraine that will get a new bilge pump or something. I'm happy for that guy and girl. And they can get a new little barn built or something and raise pigs. Zelensky's family and cronies will steal most of it. I hear you. But I'm choosing to focus on the positive. The pig farmer in lower Ukraine that's going to get something like a bilge pump out of this. And one final reason not to get upset or angry, guys, it's meant to get you angry. In a way, they always have 4 or 5, 6 things they accomplish in every creepy thing they do. It's meant to piss you off. It's meant so people say, they're taking I'm turning into the Hulk. They're taking my taxpayer dollars and they're sending it. So which country do you hate the most? So this group over here they will say, he's going to Israel. Oh, those sons in Ukraine. No, they're not taking anybody's tax. They probably, when the tax money comes in, they probably burn it because they don't need a penny of it. Taxation is simply a control feature of this reality system we'll talk about some other time. There's no reason to get upset. Turn that frown upside down. From the movie Tommy Boy. Thanks, Ray. Thank you, son. Come into Zelensky's, the auto parts store. I make car parts for the American working man because that's who I am and that's who I care about. This is the guy. This is the guy that Tommy Boy foreshadowed in its comedic allusion, this Zelensky character, who I think was also in Hamilton with Lin-Manuel Miranda. Let's read the CNN headline together. Thank you, America. Ukraine's Zelensky and Israel's Bibi Netanyahu hail House passage of $95 billion foreign aid package. Dr. Evil says, I want $100 million. Dr. Evil, $100 million is not a lot of money anymore. There are aid packages to the Ukraine and Israel that are more than that. Okay, $100 billion needs to go to Amazon.com. Thank you, America, for your very, very special gift to me. I now buy Magenta Speedboat. Article. The Senate on Tuesday passed a long-delayed $95 billion package with wide bipartisan support after both sides of Capitol Hill have struggled for months to send aid to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. The key word in that passage, guys, is the word delayed. See, the $100 billion, it was held back. It was delayed. And how upset are you getting, like I'm getting right now, that the rich people in Tel Aviv didn't get their money right away? I'm upset for the rich people in Tel Aviv. They need another magenta or emerald green speedboat. See, maybe the U.S. Congress and House thought, well, we'd like to give more billions to Israel, but I don't know. We've given so many billions recently. We have to make it look good. And then we got to hold it back and bury it inside a package. Oh, we're going to support the earthquake rebuilding in Taiwan. The American people will be for that, even though they're mostly brain dead at this point. Oh, we need to help the Ukraine, and we'll bury the $20 billion for Israel so they can get another speedboat inside this aid package. Oh, the American people will fall for that, those dumbass motherfuckers. The final vote was 79 to 18. 15 Republicans voted with 3 Democrats against the bill. 48 Democrats and 31 Republicans voted for the bill. For the spitballers that are still here in our Amish classroom, it's always good to learn something, right? See, the House of Representatives in the United States, pay attention, Australians, they already passed this AIDS package. This is the Senate. See, so there's 100 of these motherfuckers. There's 79 to 18. See, it never adds up truly to 100 because there's always a few of these motherfuckers playing golf and shit. They didn't come in for the vote. I ain't voting on that. I got tea time, motherfucker. Okay. This is the Senate. The House had already passed. So then remember that damn cartoon? We learned all about this shit. I'm just a bill, and I'm living here on Capitol Hill. Then it goes to Joe Biden, which is the next paragraph. Pay attention, Australians, and learn something about how a real democracy functions. The legislation next goes to President Joe Biden to sign it into law, who said he would sign the package Wednesday if he was coherent and actually awake. Its passage is a significant victory for the U.S. President, congressional Democrats, and Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell. I'm not, guys. I had no idea he's still there as crypt keeper. It's stalled century on steroids times a million. I think Nancy Pelosi might still be there, but she's no longer leader of the House. So it says here GOP for Australians, that's Grand Old Party leader Mitch McConnell, long pushed to send aid to Ukraine, even as the right wing of his party increasingly soured on support for Kiev. I thought it was Kiev. Kiev, make up your mind. Continuing on to the next page of this AI bot written article. Just ahead of the final passage, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer began his brief remarks with finally. He says it one more time. Put it that. That's the way they complete their spell or something. When they do it 3 times, I'm not going to help him harden the cement on his creepy spell. He said it 3. There's a reason for almost everything they do, guys. What a bunch of creeps. And he's still there, just like Mitch McConnell. Chuck Schumer's still there in some absurd presentation of stalled century that never changes. So Senator Chuck Schumer, after his finally blank, says, quote, "Tonight, may Vladimir Putin, my Dracula brother, regret the day he questioned American resolve." American resolve. Is that what it is, Chuck? So when your AI bot that's connected to the Fed through the U.S. Treasury prints up $95 billion in a millisecond and sends it overseas in less than 1/2 a second, that's American resolve. That's Americans working hard. An AI bot to print up out of thin air almost $100 billion and wire it across the Atlantic via some sort of underseas cable. That's American resolve. That's Americans working hard, like Rosie the Riveter saying we can do it. Are you Chuck Schumer? He should have been in Tommy Boy, not the U.S. Senate. Look at this. What the heck? The 4th bill increases sanctions on Russian assets and contains language that could lead to a ban on TikTok in the U.S. It gives Chinese parent company ByteDance roughly 9 months to sell TikTok, or the app will be banned from American app stores. What does Russia have to do with? I guess Russia has an interest. I don't know, guys. I thought TikTok was Chinese. It just, the whole thing is so ridiculous. So let me get this straight, Chuck Schumer and the other geniuses in the U.S. Senate. So there's hundreds of thousands of people in the United States, small-time people that make their living in some way via TikTok, whatever they do. So you're going to the big people like Bill Gates never get punished. They just get richer. The whole world goes into lockdown. Gates and Bezos and Melvin and Bezos, they get collectively, and all the rich billionaires of equal footing become $250 billion richer. So it's the little guy that loses. So it's the little people that sell their little pieces of pottery or whatever they do on TikTok. There's ways to make money from it. I don't know. I've never been on it. So you're gonna screw all the people that are struggling to make $25,000 a year on TikTok in the name of punishing Russia and China. Well, of course, it's out to just punish their own people. It's always out to punish the little guy. But the people around us just think we're one of those people. Okay, here's the summary, I guess, of what the fake money aid package is all about. Number 1, it includes aid for Ukraine in its fight against Russia, security assistance to support Israel's defense against Iran and its proxies, as well as number 3, funding for Taiwan to bolster security against Chinese aggression in the Indo-Pacific region. We'll address these one by one, but backwards. First off, I thought obviously, good, I don't watch any news, guys, but I thought obviously it would be about the emergency assistance for the 7-point whatever earthquake that supposedly leveled so many skyscrapers and all the wreckage, and to bolster Taiwan's security against Chinese aggression. What? I mean, how long are they going to play that China? Well, China and the world officially considers Taiwan part of China, like not in the same way, but similar to how Hong Kong went back to China. But there's always this tension that so little Taiwan is going to someday say we're independent and China's going to come in with tanks. The whole thing doesn't make any sense. I don't even know how to talk about it. It's so absurd. The point is, I'm taken aback because I thought obviously the aid package was for the earthquake, but no. Fuck them. All these buildings, all these people in rubble. They don't need. We need more security against China. But didn't the United States and all its corporations decide to put manufacturing with China and exclusively with China, like Foxconn, for the last 40 years? Why were they constantly putting manufacturing solely with China at the expense of the rest of the world if there's constant military tensions against China? These little things by themselves at this point, guys, give reality away to anybody that does not have their head completely up their ass. There are 100 things a day that give reality away. Completely give it away as fake, yet we're one of those people. And our friends and family, you people, you pick past the damn gravy, you conspiracy son of a beach. Sorry. Working backward, number 2 here talks about aid money to support Israel's defense against Iran and its proxies. The key here in the reality breakdown comes in terms of its proxies. All right, I'm over 50. My entire life, they told us how there's a huge difference between Shia Muslims and Sunni Muslims. They even war with one another, like the on and off endless war between Iraq and Iran. They don't get along. Okay, that's what has been demonstrated. And the proxy for Iran, as far as long as I've been alive, and every fake Time magazine article that's ever been written has been Hezbollah because they're Shia Muslims. Right? Yeah, Shia, Sunni. Okay, Sunnis are Hamas. They supposedly don't get along, but now Hamas is now a proxy for Iran. How? How's that? I mean, okay, well, they had a secret meeting, Matt, and they put their differences aside. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to shut the whole channel down. It's just like reality just shifts and nobody says anything. Well, how's Hamas now supposedly a proxy for Iran? They told us for 40 years that they were at odds with one another, and not for petty differences on like, what kind of donuts you going to bring to breakfast? Glazed? I hate glazed. I want powdered sugar. Not over that, over religion. That little thing, religion itself, not petty differences. Differences on how to interpret the Quran. They don't just become bosom buddies sharing hot tubs. Oh, you come share my hot tub and we'll talk about how we can get Tel Aviv. It's a reality. It's another, maybe I do throw around the term too loosely, but I don't understand what's going on. So I just yell out, instead of Calgon, take me away, I yell out reality breakdown. We'll close by returning to this, President Zelensky's Thank You America, a video because of the passage of the $95 billion, which I think President Biden will sign into law tomorrow on Thursday. So you have 2 parts here. One, the video appeal, the Thank You America. But there's also a private note sent from Zelensky, the auto parts king, directly to the Oval Office and Joe Biden. And Quantum of Conscience and my crack team got a hold of the letter. Now, I can't read it to you because that would expose the people that at their own risk and peril leaked it to us. But there are parts in this letter, and it's right in front of me, where Zelensky thanks Joe Biden for all the things that he and his wife are going to buy when they steal the money and siphon it off the aid package. Right? There's a whole section about the new kitchen that his wife needs. They're going to get a 6-burner range, hot water on demand, boiling water on demand. You can get that. A reverse osmosis filter for under the sink. They're going to get radiant heating flooring because he says his wife feetsies get chapped from the cold ceramic tile, so they're putting the radiant heat in underneath. They're building a whole new wing for the kids that's called the rumpus room. Everything he's going to buy is on this letter. Another magenta speedboat, and there's things here unmentionables like sex toys and things I can't even talk about, although I shouldn't even have said that. There's a private letter that talks about all the ways Zelensky, the auto parts king here, is going to siphon off the money and steal it and use it for his own pleasure before he gets it to the people in terms of rice, grain, and bottles of water. Zelensky and Biden and all the rest, and Chuck Schumer, if you're listening, and I'm sure you still listen, thou art villains. Thank you for listening.